Hi and welcome back to my channel, and today's video is again the Casey Anthony trial. So I'm going to crack on and try and get through as many witnesses as I can because I did not realise how many witnesses there were. So the first witness is Campana. He went to the university in Orlando from August 2007 to February 2009. In June of 2008, Cameron met Casey through his roommate Tony after a party. He says Casey was a regular 22-year-old girl, happy and normal. Nothing out of the ordinary. Casey would start staying at the apartment he shared with Tony. Cameron would see her daily, but outside of the apartment it was only 2 or 3 times. He was aware Casey had a daughter and he knew her name. He says he met Kaylee 3 or 4 times. He would see Kaylee in the apartment, either in Tony's room or in the living room. Casey would spend the night at the apartment, but not with Kaylee. Casey had told Cameron and Tony that she worked at Universal as an event coordinator, and apparently work was stressing her out. Tony told Cameron that Casey also told him that she was going to be getting red carpet tickets for the Batman premiere of Dark Knight. Obviously that never happened. Casey gradually, more or less, moved in towards the end of June 2008. Casey told them it was only until she had sorted out another apartment that she was getting with her friend Amy. In the time Casey was at the apartment, Cameron never saw Casey getting ready for work. Cameron and Tony did ask where Kaylee was because they didn't see her after she moved in. One story that she did give them was that she was at the beach with the nanny, and another was that she was at Universal with the nanny. I mean, they had no reason to not believe her. In the time Casey was at the apartment... Oh no, I've read that bit, sorry. Cameron is then asked if Casey ever seemed anxious about not seeing Kaylee. He says sometimes, but she told them that she had spoke to Kaylee on the phone. He can't confirm or deny it, it's just her word. He never heard her speak to Kaylee or the nanny. Whenever Casey was on the phone, she would go outside. I mean, Cameron did question her about that, and she just simply told him it was her time to vent. After Casey moved in, she started cooking and buying the groceries, pulling her weight, obviously, and Casey seemed happy living there. During the time she was living there with Cameron and Tony, Casey never said that Kaylee was missing or had been kidnapped, or they never saw her going out looking for Kaylee, nor did she ask them for any help. Now, this is a recurring question that he asks all the housemates. There was an incident on the 15th of July when Cindy came to their apartment, but he was at class at the time, so he didn't know anything about it until he got home, so he obviously can't say anything about it. He did, however, meet Casey's brother Lee, who turned up later that night. He'd never met him before, and obviously by that time Cameron had been told that Kaylee was missing. So he said to Lee, "I'm sorry about what happened. If you need anything, just let us know." He said Lee seemed calm but worried. He collected a bag of Casey's clothes from Tony's room, and Cameron never spoke to neither Lee or Casey again. So the cross-examination now, the defence attorney gets up and asks one question only, and it was just like, whoa. He says, was he in the Anthony's home when Kaylee drowned? That's all he said, and it was just like, what? Obviously Cameron says, no, I wasn't. So the next witness is Nathan Lezniewicz. He's another housemate. He was there from May 2008, but he only slept on the couch because he wasn't planning on staying there long. He was studying at university, the same as Cameron, and he also had a band who he was travelling around with after class. He met Casey at the same party as Cameron. He says she seemed like a normal 22-year-old, outgoing, talkative. He didn't know Casey had a daughter at first. He found out a few days after, and then he met Kaylee 2 or 3 times. He confirms that Kaylee never spent the night, same as what Cameron said. Again, he confirms when Casey started staying over more and more and gradually moved in. He never saw any of Casey's universal, work stuff or her ID, and he was there when she told the story about the Batman tickets. He says she never really talked about work anyway, and when he was leaving for class on a morning, Casey was leaving at the same time, so he just assumed she was going to work. He says Casey was easy to talk to and she seemed normal, happy, and he noticed nothing unusual. Once Casey moved in, he never saw Kaylee, which did seem odd to him, but he didn't take too much notice about it. I mean, he's a young guy, he's living his own life, he's not going to start delving into his mate's girlfriend's life. She obviously told him the same story, that Kaylee was either with the nanny at the beach or wherever. Casey didn't say much about her parents, except the only reason why she went outside with the phone is because her and her mum would get into arguments. He never heard Casey speak to Kaylee on the phone, nor the nanny, but, he wasn't there 24/7. They show a photo of Nathan and Casey in June 2008 at Fusion, where they all went 2 or 3 times. When they were out at Fusion, Casey always seemed like she was having a good time. He says she was no introvert and liked to go out and have fun. The whole time he was living with Casey, he never saw her worried or depressed, and she had never told him that Kaylee was missing or had been kidnapped. Now we go to the incident that happened on the 15th of July 2008, and Nathan and Tony were at home playing video games. Casey was there, she was just pottering around the apartment. There was a knock at the door and Casey went to answer it, at which point she walked outside and closed the door behind her. Nathan says there was a blonde woman there, he didn't know who she was at the time. Then Casey came back in and the woman was her mother Cindy, also her friend Amy was there. Casey was arguing with Cindy and Cindy told her to grab her things and they could go. Casey said, "No, I will talk to you, but I'm not leaving." So they all went back outside again, and that was the last Nathan saw of Casey. They had no clue what was going on, they just thought it was a family argument. Then Lee turned up at the apartment. He said that Lee was nice, he didn't seem angry, but he was worried. Also that night, law enforcement came to the apartment twice, once before Lee and once after. The time they came before Lee, Tony gave them a mobile phone, and then the second time they actually searched the apartment. The cross-examination, asking about when Nathan saw Kaylee, she looked well fed, well dressed and well taken care of. He never saw Casey hit or shout at Kaylee. Casey never gave him no indication that Kaylee was dead at any time she was living with Nathan. So the state are trying hard, but I don't think they've got much. I don't like Casey's defence, but who does like any defence lawyer really? So I've got more witnesses to get through, so I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.